What's up, guys? This is your head coach, Kuya for Smash Ultimate, and for today's class, I'm going to teach you the secret into getting into Elite Smash. It'll be a breakdown of how Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is different when playing online. We're going to identify which characters thrive or struggle in an online environment, and I'll give you some extra tips about reaching Elite Smash. We're actually going to talk about our CDP, our coach development program. Then we'll get into a key difference in online Smash. We'll talk about who benefits, then who struggles, some Wi-Fi tips, and at the end of today's class, we'll leave some time for a live Q&A. But if you're watching this on YouTube, hello YouTube, feel free to leave comments down below and I'll respond as soon as possible. Today's class is a bit more inspired by, we just had the holidays and I'm pretty sure some of you kiddos got a Nintendo Switch and you probably are playing Smash now, so you're wondering how to get Elite Smash, so that's why I picked this as today's topic. So it's a bit more beginner friendly than what I usually do, but I feel like this will help every skill level, so feel free to, or please stay tuned because you might learn something new today. Oh, and we also had a very special announcement, so that's why you need to stay tuned. We have two banger events coming up for Fit Gamer. The first one is a fireside chat with Cloud9 CEO Jack Etienne. That's him right here. It'll be January 22nd, 2025, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You'll get a free exclusive chat with him talking everything about esports. This is a pretty rare occurrence, so please take advantage of it. I'll have the link to this thing, and it's free. So free knowledge is really good. He is the owner of one of the best, or at least, yeah, one of the best esport orgs in NA, Cloud9. So definitely stop in and say hi and listen to what he has to say. The second event that I want to talk about is our upcoming February cohort for the coach development program. This is going to be an opportunity for you to level up your knowledge about the esports industry. We'll have it for February 10th to April 20th, so that's 10 weeks. And it's a really high quality program developed by both Cloud9 and Fit Gamer professionals to teach you everything at a very in-depth level, from team development to in-game performance to post-game recovery to a lot of other stuff. It was developed by former Cloud9 coaches as well. And there's more stuff that I wish I could tell you, but we have more information in the link below. But the important part to remember is if you want to get it, use code YouTube to get 20% off the entire thing, which is such a good chunk of it for savings. And believe me, I would not be in the position I am today without this program. So it's really good for you. That's how I'm the head coach for Fit Gamer for Smash. So, and a lot of other stuff, but yeah, definitely check it out. A lot of valuable information there as well. All right, so moving back to our regularly scheduled class, the main difference between online versus offline is going to be the input delay. So Smash Ultimate has around 6 frames of input delay naturally in any game mode when you're offline. So let's say in real time you press the A button for a jab and you have a frame 1 jab. It'll on average take around 6 frames for that input to actually go into the game, which is pretty negligible. Or my gosh, I am not saying my words correctly. It's not that big of a deal when you get more used to the game, but there is just a bit of input delay. However, when you're playing online, Smash Ultimate adds 4 extra frames of input delay when you're playing Wi-Fi. So that means when you're playing online, there's at best, so best case scenario, you have 10 frames of input delay when fighting online. And I'm not considering if someone has really bad Wi-Fi where it becomes a slideshow. I'm also not considering mods, because I'm just going to assume that the people watching this do not have access to mods. So when you're just playing normal online Smash, there's at best 10 frames of input delay, or 1/6 of a second. And some implications for that is that input delay kind of affects Smash in a way that you kind of play a little bit differently. One of the first implications I want to talk about is that input delay forces players to anticipate moves earlier in order to move as desired rather than just reacting. So the example here is that let's say imagine you're getting juggled by a Donkey Kong using up air, right? And you're trying to get back down to the stage. So you're just trying to land straight down. If you air dodge too late, even if you're correct in air dodging, like you see the Donkey Kong double jumping towards you with an up air, if you air dodge too late, the DK will still hit you because your air dodge input takes 10 frames of input delay to register in the game, and then you actually air dodge. But if you air dodge too late, and then like you know that you have to air dodge through it, but DK is already doing up air during the 10 frames of input delay, your air dodge doesn't come out soon enough to phase through the DK. So you kind of have to anticipate the up air and air dodge just a little bit earlier than usual compared to offline in order for you to successfully avoid that attack. Another implication of input delay is it makes reacting a lot less consistent. So, for example, you ground your opponent, forcing them into a tech situation where they have to roll either left, right, normal get up, or get up attack. Because you're playing online, if you try to react to what they do, it might be really hard to actually capitalize on what they're doing because your character will move 4 frames slower compared to offline. And that 4 frames could be just enough for your opponent to pick another defensive option and go unpunished, even though you read the roll correctly. So in this video here, this is online, but because I'm a coach and I'm super good at the game, I read the Kazuya rolling in here. If I try to react to the roll in and did the same thing, Kazuya might have been able to put in an action that comes out faster than my forward smash, and I would lose that opportunity of getting a stock. So I wasn't reacting here. This was more of like a hard read rather than reacting. So just keep that in mind when playing online, where it's like you kind of have to guess a bit more or like predict a bit more compared to like raw reacting to things. And you could still react to things online, of course. Like there's still some type of leeway there, but it is just a bit tougher because of the extra 4 frames of input delay. So how does input delay affect these characters or when you're fighting someone? Although input delay does seem minuscule, in a game of hundreds of inputs, every frame matters and can determine the outcome in some situations, like if you win or lose. For example, input delay makes reacting last second basically impossible, which forces players to guess correctly rather than reacting properly. Input delay also makes tight combos even harder due to the potential inconsistent input delay. So I did say at best 10 frames of input delay, but sometimes Wi-Fi can be kind of wishy-washy and inconsistent, so maybe in this section you lag a little bit more than usual, and that might eat your input. Therefore that makes like tighter combos or more difficult combos a lot harder to do if the Wi-Fi or the online connectivity isn't that good. And lastly, input delay just makes precise movement much more difficult because you are kind of slugging with 4 extra frames of input delay. At best, 4 frames. So with all that out of the way, what characters perform better online compared to offline? So zoners is going to be a really good option for picking up for Elite Smash, or if you want to try to get into Elite Smash, zoners are really good just because the long range projectiles can easily pressure people that are struggling to even move in this game. So characters that do really good online, I have Samus, Bowser Jr., Snake, Min Min, Mii Gunner, Zelda, and Rob. Some of these characters are just good in general, like Samus, Snake, Min Min, and Rob. They're just good. But some of these more low tier characters like Bowser Jr., Mii Gunner, and Zelda, although they're low tier, like on official tier lists and a lot of people's opinions, when you're playing against them online and the Wi-Fi is kind of like fighting, or you're fighting against Wi-Fi, these characters kind of get buffed in a way. So Bowser Jr. has the Mecha Koopa that can be like a dormant threat that can get a lot of chip damage. Mii Gunner can fill the stage with a bunch of projectiles and explosions, which can be hard to deal with online because you can't move that well against him. And Zelda has the Phantom Knight, where it's really difficult to predict when it'll shoot out if the Zelda's able to mix up properly, and that just makes it kind of annoying to deal with. Another type of character that does really well online are like big hit characters. So these characters have pretty simple yet effective combos where the input's not that difficult, or it's pretty simple to set up the combo, or even just like raw KO power in general where they have a lot of knockback. So KOing is a lot more consistent for them. So characters like Ness with his back throw, Bowser with his side B or literally any of his moves, Pyra with some pretty simple 1-2 combos like down air up smash, Mr. Game and Watch with down smash and to create anything creative, like you do whatever you want. Yoshi has some pretty easy combos, and Sonic's not necessarily a big hit character, but because of spin dash, your combos become really simple, and due to the nature of online, Sonic is able to kind of outmaneuver a lot of people naturally. So picking these characters should give you a better chance at winning online and racking up GSP. Now, on the other side of that coin, we have to go over characters that are worse online. So something along the lines of extended combo characters that require a lot of execution in order to have meaningful output. So characters like Sheik, Pichu, Inkling, Meta Knight, and maybe Joker. Like if you play Joker in a very combo heavy way, you could kind of struggle there. These characters require like a ton of hits just to match like 30% at best, which is really hard considering you're fighting against not only your execution but also the online environment. Um, Another type or another factor to consider is your character's weight, and generally, lightweight characters tend to be harder to play online due to being more prone to getting hit if the game doesn't register your inputs on time. And if your main strength, most lightweight characters are pretty fast, anyways. And if your main strength is kind of nerfed by the input delay, you'll naturally play a little bit worse, or it'll just be harder to play. So characters that are unusually lightweight, which I wish they weren't lightweight, were Mewtwo, Rosalina, Sheik again. Sheik just has a really hard time playing online, and ZSS. So picking characters that have these type of aspects in their game plan will give you a worse chance of winning online. That doesn't mean that it's impossible. Impossible to play again as them. You just have to work a lot harder than you would with the better online characters. Okay, let's go into some Wi-Fi tips. So I have some 3 tips for you to help reach Elite Smash, or at least stay in Elite Smash for a long time. First one is to make sure you have your preferred rules correct. I do 1-on-1, 3 stocks, 7 minutes, small battlefield. This is the closest you're gonna get to a tournament rule set when playing online. So when you're practicing, having this rule set is the best one to kind of emulate a tournament match. But if you prefer Battlefield or Omega stages, you could pick those as well. The whole point is to not cheat your way into Elite Smash. So I know some people think like, oh, I'm gonna turn on like Pokeballs and Final Smash Meter and all these other fun items, and I'm just gonna casual my way back or my way into Elite Smash, which is doable. Like I've seen people do it, but it just makes it so inconsistent to a point where it's like you just have to be better with items than the other person. And honestly, if people see that items are on they start trying a lot harder because they know you're trying to like cheat your way into the GSP. So for long-term investments of your own personal growth, try to focus on mastering your game and like your playstyle with this rule set where it's very tournament heavy, or like as if you're playing a tournament rather than like cheesing out wins with items and stuff, or like some cheap rule sets. Like I've seen people do like 3 minutes, um like they pick 3 minutes, they get one stock and they run away the entire match. Like yeah, but it's also like kind of lame, so try not to play that lame. The second rule, or the second tip that I have, is to always rematch. If you win or lose, just hit rematch. If lets you get faster games, and you get more games, that means you have more chance of getting more GSP. If you win, you can farm that opponent with for more GSP if they rematch. If you lose, you can practice adapting to your opponent to win in the run back. And if they don't rematch, you're already in queue for another rematch or another match. When I was practicing, when I was more competitive, I treated Elite Smash kind of like tournament sets. So win or lose, I would rematch, and I would imagine like it was a best of three or a best of five, and having that mentality of like being able to play against somebody again and again, I think helped my stamina and also helped me learn how to adapt. I identify what I'm doing good and what I'm doing bad, and what actions I need to take to win the second game or the third game. I would just recommend not to. Oh yeah, sorry, I need to address the video here. I played against the Sheik online while like trying to get clips for this video. I lost game one, and this is game two, and I won it because I just got way more edge guards. So that was like my adaptation where I realized as Pokemon trainer, I was kind of panicking too much as Charizard, and they were just getting a lot of combos in. So I adapted and thought like, okay, I need to get my KOs in a more creative way. I need to not give him his free combos, yada yada yada, stuff like that. And I think I won game three. It was a lot closer though, but I got a silly Charizard kill. Do not rematch them if they are extremely laggy. Just get out there and just pick another one. It's not worth it to chug through a match. Or if they have those cheeser rules on like items, final smash, or free for all on, like just don't waste your time there. And the last tip I have when you're grinding online is to not chase your losses. So it's really easy to go to spiral into a lose streak when you have like this kind of mentality where it's like, I gotta end on a win. I lost so much GSP, I gotta win it back right now. Or they got so lucky, I should have won. And you're kind of like rage requeuing into them. And if you have like this mentality, you start losing more and more GSP because you're worried about winning and not about improving. And when that happens, it becomes kind of like a combined spiral of you're losing GSP, you're losing matches, you're going deeper in the hole, and if you keep on requeuing into a match without like a healthy mindset, you start like losing even more. So it kind of feeds into itself. To avoid this, recognize when you need to take a break or just some time away from online and in the practice room to just sharpen your skills, make sure your inputs are coming out right, and then you can return. And that break could be as long as like a good night's rest or a couple days. Understand your stamina online and how much you can play before you start autopiloting, because it's pretty easy to kind of expect that you deserve a win when in reality, like each match that you play against, you need to put a little bit of like thought and effort into it, unless you're like way better than your opponent. But for the most part, while you're grinding, just don't. If you lose a couple, that's fine. Maybe just call it a day and think about what you could do for the future. And I'm just flexing all the characters in Elite Smash. And I noticed I got 15 mil on Yoshi. I didn't know until this class, so it's pretty cool to see how big that number got. And that is all I have for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.